Measuring Up Insight offers a vast item bank that allows you to custom create your own standard-based assessments in a few simple steps. To begin, select Assessments and then Create Assessment. Choose the subject and grade from the drop-down menus. To construct an English Language Arts or Reading Assessment, start by selecting Standards, Passages, and Questions. The first step is to name your assessment and then click Next. Then, in Step 2, you are going to select which, if any, assessments to exclude from your item selection bank. Assessments that are currently in the Insight Assessment Library will be listed here. Place a check next to any assessment you would like to exclude the items from for this assessment. For Step 3, you will select the details of your assessment. When selecting the reading passage word limit, select short passages or any passage length. Word counts per passage will be displayed on the next screen. For test type, choose between public or private. Public makes the assessment available to others in your school in the assessment library. Private only makes it available to you. Select Distractor Mode from the drop-down menu, which will set the lettering or the numbering of the multiple choice answers. And lastly, it's optional to enter a description of the assessment in the field provided. Once all the details have been entered, press Next. On the left side of the screen, you will select the sub-learning objectives the assessment will cover by placing a check mark next to those sub-learning objectives. Based on the standards chosen on the left side of the screen, the right side will populate with questions and passage counts. The Matches by Reading selection displays question counts per passage for the standard selected. In the title column, click a passage title link to open and view the content of the passage. The next column displays approximate word count for each passage. The genre link can be used to resort passages by genre. Match questions is the number of questions per passage that match the standards chosen, and the total questions is the number of questions attached to the passage in the item bank. You may click the number link to see standards items are matched to. You may click the questions link to view the questions prior to going to the next step. Use the scroll bars at the side and bottom to see more information. It is also possible to use Matches by Sub-Learning Objective, which displays question counts per standard that are not attached to reading passages. In the Add Item column, place a check mark next to each question that you want on this assessment. As you add questions, the Number of Questions box will keep track of how many you've added. Click the Key Abbreviations button to view what the acronyms to the right of each question mean. Click the View link in the far right column to see the whole question, including graphics or pictures and answer distractor feedback. Place a check mark next to Show Additional Questions that do not match standards chosen if you want to add additional items that do not match the sub-learning objectives you chose in Step 4. Items are grouped by their respective passage. Click the passage title link to open and view the content of the passage. Items without a passage will appear first, if applicable. To order questions, click and hold drag to the right of the question and move it into the desired place. Questions are color-coded according to passage, making it easy to see the distribution of items per passage objective. Use the drop-down menu in the Weight column to weigh a question from 1 to 5 if desired. This will make the question worth more points. The final step is to review your assessment and click Save. Then, click Return to go to the assessment library and find your newly created assessment. You may click the Edit link next to any section to make changes. Each assessment you create in Insight will be stored in the assessment library. Depending on the user access you have, your assessment will appear under District, School, or Teacher Assessments. If you make an assessment private, it will appear in an additional section labeled Private. Hover over the Options button to access links to the different functions available for the assessment. To print the assessment, hover over the options and click the Download and Print link to open the pop-up window. Make selections and click the Download button. The assessment will download as a rich text file which can be opened in Microsoft Word and printed. To print the answer key, hover over the options and click the Answer Key link to download. The answer key will be downloaded as a rich text file which can be opened in Microsoft Word and printed. To learn more about creating Common Core assessments on Measuring Up Insight, click on the Help link located on the top right corner of the web page. The images for this presentation came from the Measuring Up Insight Creating Common Core Assessments user guide.